Hey guys, welcome back to the channel guys. It's your boy Sly Lancy and we're back again for another Sly Cooper video. I know you guys have been waiting patiently for another think piece on Sly Cooper. Trust me, I'm trying to get back to doing more of these think pieces guys, but again, schedule's getting messed up, which is why I've been doing a lot of comic dubs recently to keep people entertained. But yeah, so we're back for Sly Cooper, and in today's video, this is a topic that was suggested by one of the subscribers on the channel, John Michael. Appreciate the support as always, brother. Keep doing your thing, keep suggesting ideas, and I'll try to get to them just like I do everybody else's. But yeah, John Michael has suggested a video like this for a while. He had the idea of a Sly 5 wish list, but instead I decided to twist it a bit so that it would not only include that as a topic, but the main topic of the video is, can a 5th Sly game work? And that's what we're going to be discussing today guys. So as always guys, just sit back, grab a couple of snacks, and let's talk. So, and as always guys, leave your opinions and ideas in the comment section down below, and I'll read them and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. Okay, nothing filler, let's just get straight to the meat and potatoes. Can a 5th Sly game work? Yes or no? We're going to be doing both sides of the coins and what I believe is the main option. So, let's start off with the yes category. Yes, Sly 5 can work for 3 particular reasons that I have. 1, the fan base is loud. Listen, it's been 20 plus years since the first Sly game came out, and the fan base is still going strong, having 30,000, subs on the Reddit. Like, it's obvious that Sly still has a strong, passionate fan base. It may not be big, but it's strong and passionate. A lot of my videos still getting tons of views every single day, which is crazy to me. Thank you always guys for watching my videos, just had to get that out there. But yeah, it's just crazy how Sly is still going strong with the fans this amount of time later, with many still clamoring for a 5th game. So I believe that yes, a 5th Sly game could work because there is a fan base for it, and even if and I won't go too into detail, but yes, I think it could work because the fan base is definitely very loud. Reason number 2, a fresh start. Again, because Sly is such an old game, you could legitimately try to maybe not reboot the series, but reinvent it in a way. Because obviously after what happened in the 4th game and basically being stuck on that cliffhanger, you could basically do anything with Sly at this point. You can follow the old formula of the games and just add a bit of new elements to it to make it stand out and more, contemporary for newer gamers. You can change up the art style a bit, not completely, but maybe combine Sucker Punch's art style with Sansaru's art style. Get the old composers from all 4 games and combine them together to have them work together towards the 5th game, which could be the conclusion to the entire series. Or if you really just want to start from scratch again, then definitely do that. Again, there's so much you could do with a 5th Sly game. You could continue and finish the old story, or you just restart it or reset the timeline, by, again, something as simple as Bentley, recreated a time machine that has a reset button and everything, and time just resetted itself. As stupid as that may sound, it would literally save the franchise in a way. It would be anticlimactic, but it would still be better than just leaving fans desperate for a game after 10 freaking years. And my third and final point is bringing Sly to a much newer, younger, and hungrier audience. We're in a day and age where, everything is fast, nothing slow paced anymore. People want instant gratification as quick as possible, which I personally think is bad for society right now, but I don't want to give my 2 cents in on that completely. But yeah, everybody wants things that's exciting and popping and new. So, and sometimes, bringing back the old is new. So why not just bring back Sly, give him a chance, even though Sucker Punch, said they aren't working on the Sly game and probably won't in the future. But again, there can be a developer out there that wants to work with Sly. I understand Sly's old, but Sly's story and lore is one of the greatest lores in PS2 history. You could do so much with it, with the right writers, the right game developers. Heck, you could grab a couple of fans on Reddit that are probably working on a bunch of fan stories for Sly and how to finish, writing the story. And then grab a couple of game programmers that probably love Sly just as much and just, put them together and bam, a 5th game that could work, you know. And this game could be very contemporary, you know. It could be very contemporary with the right amount of, you know, story elements and the right amount of gameplay elements. Just balancing the two out, you know. Sony's a big company and they have a lot of money. I'm pretty sure you can, you know, find a group of developers that would want to work on a new Sly game. You know, for me personally, you know, I have a comic book series that I'm still debating if I want to finish or not, but I could talk about, you know, what the story was supposed to be in that comic book series later in this video. But yeah, again, Sly may be old, but he has this type of charm to it that I think fans could gravitate behind, even new ones. So yeah, those are my 3 reasons as to why I think a new Sly game could work. Now, let's get into why I don't think a new Sly game could work. Okay, so we're in the no section of this video, which is basically why Sly 5 would not work in today's day and age. So, let's just get this one out the way. Reason number 1, he's too old. You know, not to say that old stuff has been brought back and reinvented once again. You know, we've seen stuff like that happen before. You know, when we get down to it, you know, Sly is an old game, yes, that fans may or may not gravitate towards, who knows. But yeah, you know, that's just, unfortunately, that's the way society is nowadays, where something could be too old and outdated, you know, even though there are instances where old, outdated stuff has been able to reconnect with audiences once again, like Spawn. Spawn, I think, is a prime example of that. But I just don't think that, you know, maybe Sly could reach that type of new audience that it could potentially grab. Which basically leads to reason number 2, which is he's unmarketable in today's culture. He really is very and highly unmarketable when you get down to the scheme of things, you know? Like a gentleman's thief, we have plenty of those in today's culture nowadays. Plenty of those gentleman thieves and anti-hero type characters, you know? But I think people forget that Sly was like one of the originators of that gentleman's thief. It really volumes it, but at the same time, it's like reality at this point, you know? Because now we have games like Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed 2, Final Fantasy, the Thief series. So many games that are very popular right now that modernize the gentleman's thief or master thief type shtick, even though Sly was the first one to do it. So, of course, you know, Sly's gonna get forgotten in that category. And number 3, and probably the most important reason, how Sly 4 ended. It's no secret that Sly 4's ending messed up everything for Sly, you know. Like, I think fans would have much rather Sly 3 be the true ending of the franchise and series rather than the 4th one, because now with the 4th game, it's like, now, what now at this point? So, as to with Sly 3, it seemed like the perfect ending. Well, not the perfect ending, but like the cherry on top ending that we needed for this series. So, with Sly 4's ending, retconning pretty much all of that, you know, unless the developers say, no, it's not canon or something, I think we're just gonna be stuck in limbo with Sly. So, but yeah, that's the final reason why I think Sly 5 wouldn't work. Okay, so now that we got the yes and no out the way, let's talk about if there is ever a 5th Sly game, you know, what would be in it. And to further continue John Michael's question, John Michael actually left a few comments in the past on a couple of my videos and even some of the community tabs where he talks about what should be in Sly 5 or Sly 6 if there's ever a 5th or 6th game of the series. So we're going to discuss what he talked about in this. In the top 10 worst Sly Cooper worlds video, John had left a comment on there talking about different areas that Sly 5 or Sly 6 should take place in. So in Sly 5, obviously ancient Egypt. Then he also mentioned a couple of other areas that I thought was pretty cool too, like ancient Scotland. I think Scotland would be a very great area for Sly. He put the colonial Caribbean, which I'd have to think about it, but I can see where he's coming from with that, especially since we had areas like Bloodbath Bay. London's another great one. The Netherlands, I think it's another solid option too. And then he also had going back to present day Paris, which would wrap up all the time travel stuff. And then for the ones in Sly 6, if we go that far, he thinks about Brazil, which again, the lawlessness of Brazil I think would be perfect for a Sly game. Going back to America, like, you know, with Mark Shot's area, I guess, or maybe something like New York City, but New York City be tough to figure out. Then he put Africa, Mexico, Alaska, and the Himalayas, and St. John's, Newfoundland. I have to look into that, but I know Brazil, the ones that caught my attention for Sly 6 was Brazil, Mexico, and America. And I could say Alaska, even though I feel like, Alaska would be the same thing as Canada, same thing with the Himalayas, but I feel like Brazil and Mexico would be the most, intriguing options on that list. So yeah, that was basically his ideas for the Sly Cooper world. Now to get into the story that he had in mind for this. For Sly 5, it would start back in ancient Egypt where he would meet Slight and Common, and then they take on an enemy that's a female Sphinx cat trying to rule all of Egypt. And while they're dealing with that, the Clockwork is found with the remaining time travel parts. And with those parts from the Paradox, this blimp basically, Clockwork uses those parts to basically forge his metal body and allows him to time travel to a few different areas in timelines. Not every single timeline, but just a couple timelines. And Bentley, Murray, and Carmelita catch wind of this, and that's how they're able to figure out that Sly's in Egypt, and then try to go there so they can get him out of there. Once Carmelita, Bentley, and Murray rescue Sly, they say their goodbyes to Slight and Common, and they travel across the timelines to stop Clockwork before he destroys the timeline for good. Traveling to different areas like the Caribbean, like we were just talking about, where they meet Henrietta, One-Eye Cooper. Then they travel to the Victorian London area with Thaddeus Cooper. Then they go to the Netherlands, which brings in Otto von Cooper with his, flight capabilities, which would then lead back to modern day Paris, where they would try their best to stop Clockwork before he ruins the timeline. And then this is where they bring in Sly's father to help along the journey. The different villains that John had listed or made up for this type of game or story for Sly 5 was that he would have a male pirate gorilla, a male fancy rat, there are male or female observancy falcon, wild boar, or a European prime martin. I think out of all of them, I think the falcon would be the one that makes the most sense in my personal opinion, just because if Otto Von's the one with flight, that a falcon would make sense. A female falcon I think would be cool. And with the final level would be, them fighting Clockwork, obviously. So, and basically he had the story ending in which Neela awakens in Clockwork's mind frame because, of what happened in the events of Sly 2, and both of them would fight for control over his body, only to get destroyed by Sly and his father. And that would be the end of Sly 5, and everything would have been returned back to normal. So, John, once again, bro, I appreciate you greatly for giving your opinions and thoughts on what a 5th Sly game should be like. I thank you so much for always showing support to the channel, and thank you so much for all these ideas and tips that you've given us, And again, same thing with you guys. If you guys have any theories or thoughts out there, please let me know, and we can talk about it on Reddit or on YouTube here. So yeah, that was John's version of Sly 5 in his opinion. I can also go over another fan of the channel, and basically a fan of mine in general. His name is Nicholas Grando, and he had a couple of ideas for the Sly comic that I was working on. He really wanted to help, which, by the way, I do appreciate greatly, Nick. I do appreciate all the help that you wanted to give. His ideas were basically similar to how I wanted to write the story, which I'm actually going to discuss in a quick second, actually. But yeah, if you can, find these two and talk to them, whether it be through YouTube or IG. I'm sure they're going to comment on this video as well. Talk to those two specifically, and they can tell you everything, that they had the ideas for Sly 5, because I know these two have been bugging me for the longest time on a 5th Sly game. So again, I appreciate that they was willing to bring their ideas to me and talk about it. And that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. So now don't go away just yet, because I'm dropping another video actually. In this particular video, we're gonna discuss my version of Sly 5. We already talked about what could or couldn't work in a Sly game, and some of the ideas that some of my other subscribers had. And again, if you guys have any ideas whatsoever about what Sly 5 should have, please put them in the comment section down below. We can talk about it. I want to see you guys' ideas and opinions, and I'll try to shout you guys out in the next video that I do. I'm gonna try to get more shout outs going for all you guys out there who've been supporting me from day one till now. So again, thank you always, guys. Thank you always for showing support, love, and appreciation, and clicking the like, share, or subscribe button. It really helps out the channel greatly. So But it's been your boy Sly Lancy, and I'm out. And I'll see you guys in the next video where we talk about my version of Sly 5.